fully, because as you can see, it never came back down, and that was because they were generating sell side liquidity for them to take out in the afternoon session. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lewis, and if this is the first time that you're tuning in, this is the channel where I'm just documenting my trading journey. If this is your first time watching me, I appreciate you giving me your time. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend who is also on their trading journey, and if you're on your trading journey right now, comment down below. Let me know how your trading journey is going currently. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. The Instagram already popped up. Thank you so much for the amount of support we've been getting on the YouTube channel. I don't know if by the time I post this video we'll be at 800 subscribers on YouTube, but if we are, I appreciate you so much. It's all because of you, so thank you. If you're looking for a PC build with the best parts in the market, make sure you check out the sponsor of this trading series, Tektronix.com. Use discount code RTFLV for 10% off at checkout. Everything you purchase has a 1-year warranty, and quoting is available, so you can go ahead and contact them and be on your way to your dream PC. Yeah, I had a very good trading week, honestly. Like I said, what I learned last week was really eye-opening, and I'm gonna explain everything that I learned, or that eye-opening moment that I had. I always felt like I had a very good understanding of ICT concepts, but I always felt like there was something missing, like there was something missing from the puzzle, and I believe I found that missing piece, and it ended up working out this week. The best way to really go about it is to show you what happened this week. Hopefully you get to see exactly what I'm talking about while I'm walking you through it on the charts. It's as simple as once you see it, you really can't unsee it. I'm extremely confident that I'm gonna pass this challenge. I'm gonna talk about everything that happened this week once we get into the charts, and I also don't want to give all the information in one go, because then it's gonna feel to you and your perspective like you understand the concept out of a 5-minute video or a 5-minute clip of the video, when in fact you need to tie in a lot of other concepts and a lot of other narratives and information for what I'm talking about to click. But hopefully you get to realize it here while I'm showing you in the charts. I'll do my best to portray that information to you, but let's get into the charts. All right, now we're in the charts. Like I always say, make sure you stay to the end of the video so you can see the actual balance of the prop firm challenge that I'm taking right now. Thank you to Tektronix.com for sponsoring the series. Yeah, this is the daily. So these two lines delineate the week, as you can see here. This is a crazy week. The wick that ended up happening this week, you can't really see it because of the line that I have delineating, but it ended up coming all the way down and basically rebalancing this whole imbalance, which I have to demand more information from the market to really determine what's going to happen, because as you can see, if I remove this is the wick. As you can see, it came down, immediate rebalance, and then just went up, but it did close under the range from the previous week. What I saw is that there's still buy side liquidity sitting up here, and we came down, respected this imbalance, which is a unicorn model, because this right here is a breaker as well, with a high, low, higher high, and this high right here took out the buy side liquidity from this candle. So this is a valid breaker, high, low, higher, high. So we came down into the breaker and into the imbalance, which is a unicorn model on the weekly. So I am expecting higher prices, but if you go into the lower time frames, which is still the high time frame, you can see that we're basically in a sell model as of right now, with us rejecting the highs and pushing through the lows. We'll just have to see exactly what it is next week. This is completely wrong. I had that just to see the ranges, because we do have some breakaway gaps up here and some measuring gaps. So I was just trying to see what it was looking like on the 4-hour. In terms of demanding more information next week, it's definitely something that I'm gonna have to do, because today was a thank God it's Friday type of setup with these 4-hour candles. You could see big range down, which created the wick, and then just came right back up in the afternoon session. So I'll explain everything else once I get into the days. That's what I was looking at this week. The best way to really go about it is to show you what happened on Monday, which Monday I didn't trade, but I was anticipating this move up, which was the only trade of the day on Monday. But the thing is that Monday was a holiday. It wasn't high probability situation either way. I guess you could have found something in there, and I know for sure that I could have found something in there, but I'll just talk about what I saw on Monday. On Monday, as you can see here, I basically saw a optimal trade entry, and I'll even mark it out for you. Yeah, this is what I saw on Monday. Came down, optimal trade entry, and then took off. But since it was a Monday, and Mondays are usually low probability days, especially with no news on Monday and it being a bank holiday, it was just better not to trade. And I was looking at the charts. I was tape reading on Monday, which is when you just look at the charts with no intention of trading. But I did see something set up, and I was just waiting for it to play out if it retraced, but it didn't retrace. And I guess the retracement was what I was intending for, I guess you can say. You can see here, optimal trade entry came into the golden zone even, and then just took off. So I could have targeted this high or these highs from Friday, which was the trade that I was trying to take. But I was also waiting for a retracement after I got confirmation that we were gonna go higher. So I saw the sell side imbalance become inversed, so I was just waiting for some type of retracement into it again so that it can be used as resistance, but it never came back into it. You see, even on the lower time frames, I was waiting for something else to show up, but it just kept rallying and never really came back into it. And I'm going into all the time frames, so I guess I could have had had the opportunity to get in as soon as it closed in that imbalance and then rode it out all the way up to the top. That is the only real entry that I seen. So I was waiting for confirmation, which was the inverse of the sell side imbalance. I could have entered on candle close and had my stop below this low right here and then targeted the high from Friday, or even this high right here from Thursday. As you can see, it even came up a bit higher, which I believe was a higher time frame imbalance. But this was a trade to 1 to 2 4. If I was anticipating it to come back into the inverse fair value gap, I could have had my stop like right here, and it was a 1 to 3. I didn't take this trade. I didn't get the retracement that I wanted. I'm not mad. That was the trade that I was looking at on Monday, but bank holiday, low probability day, no news. You know, it's low probability conditions, so either way, I'm not mad. I could have entered on the optimal trade entry this day here, and then maybe had my stop below this low and then rode it out to the highs on Friday, or even the highs on Thursday, which was a little bit higher. But I didn't, because I was waiting for some type of confirmation. If I'm being 100% honest, I didn't even know it was a bank holiday. So that's basically what happened on Monday. Now let's move on to Tuesday. So Tuesday I took 2 trades, and Tuesday I realized that I was wrong very quickly. For some reason I thought we were gonna go back up to all-time highs on Tuesday, and I believe the conversation that I ended up having happened on Tuesday night, if I'm not mistaken. So the eye-opening moment or trade didn't come until Wednesday, which I believe was my biggest day. I'll show you exactly what I saw and what it was that I learned. I was still trading without knowing what I know now. I saw this big drop off. I was anticipating that we were gonna go down lower, and I entered a short right here. I think it was on the 1 minute. I entered a short here and then just started consolidating, went down a bit, and then came right back up, took me out. I said, okay. I was too fixated on the smaller time frames, but so Tuesday I was like, maybe it's gonna go higher, or the draw is higher. So what I did was, I noticed we were accumulating, we manipulated down, and then had a big up candle, leaving a fair value gap here with an inverse sell side imbalance. So what I decided to do was just to enter, and the screenshot came up, but I missed this initial entry right here. So I just kept watching, and I saw that it started coming back down. So once it came back down, I entered at market, and then I have my stop loss right here. I haven't moved this since Tuesday. This is the actual position that I took. As you can see, very little drawdown, only came down a bit with a wick and then just started to reverse and go higher. I targeted these highs, and if I'm being truthfully honest, I was targeting these highs. So this is the actual trade, but I did take profits above this high, and then I saw that it started to consolidate, and then went into lunch hour, which started chopping even more, and then we ended up going lower. So what I didn't realize was we had created these equal lows here, which was the lows of the range that we were currently in. So what it ended up doing was it came up as a Judas swing, making people think that we were gonna go up for these highs, which is what it made me think. Once I took profits, I left a bit of my position going, and then it started to chop, where I should have took even more profits, but I didn't. So I ended up watching it come all the way down, and then I was like, what happened? And then a trader from my group chat sent his trade, and I was like, what did you see? And he had hit me up on the side and sent me what he actually saw today. He caught the move down, he caught the move up, and then he caught the move down again. And I was like, what? Well, that is some crack. What are you doing? And then he explained everything, and then once he explained that, it kind of clicked, because he had explained it in a previous call, like I said in the last video, but it was kind of going over my head until I saw it myself on my charts, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. The range going into Wednesday was this low and this high, with the high on Tuesday and the low on Tuesday. So we were coming into Wednesday dropping, and we continued to drop until we hit 930, and then it started to move up, and that is the move that I saw Wednesday, right? So we were already below the previous day low, so we had taken sell side liquidity, so I was waiting for a move up. Once I saw this down here, which was a consolidation, manipulation, and then a big displacement higher. So as you can see here, this is what it looked like on the 1 minute. We were rejecting highs and pushing through lows. So you see these lows down here getting pushed through, and then we don't come back up to this high. We ended up coming back down, and we rejected this low and then pushed up above these highs. And I believe there was also an SMT at 930, which is a very important SMT. It's a sequential SMT at that. I noticed that I had my stop exactly at the top of the fair value gap that was created with this big imbalance. I targeted the previous day range high, which was all the way up here, but I had targets that I was going to take profits at, while also doing this, which is measuring the range. So as you can see over here on the right side, this is the levels of the range, and I should have noticed that I didn't see a breakaway gap anywhere in here that didn't get filled in, which tells me that what I was grading in my range was incorrect, but it did get up high enough to the 50% and close to the daily open, and I was seeing how I was going to react around the 50% of the range and also near the 12 o'clock open. Once I saw it starting to reject, I had already took some profit at the 50, and then once it started to reject, I took the rest of my profits. So this high right here, I saw an SMT with ES taking this high and NQ not taking that high. So as soon as I saw that, I knew it was going to end up either chopping or reversing, so I took all of my position off. And this was a day where I had my full 5 contracts, which is the most that you can trade on a prop firm account, or at least the prop firm account challenge that I'm taking. This was a big day, and I basically called the low and the high of the current session, which is New York AM session, and then we ended up breaking down later on in the day. As you can see, for the rest of the PM session, it was just chop, and then we broke down aftermarket, coming down up to here, and then that leads me to Thursday. On Thursday, I was paying attention to the weekly range. So Thursday, that's the weekly range with those 2 white lines. When I came into Thursday, we were so close to the range low, which is the high, this is the low, and discount and premium. So we were already so close to the low. So I just knew that we were going to end up taking the range low. But also on Tuesday, if I would have been paying even more attention, I would have noticed that there was an SMT right here with ES and Q taking this high and ES not taking the high, which should have showed me that we were going to go down for the rest of the week. So I should have been looking for shorts instead of looking for longs. Either way, I caught a big move up, which ended up taking me out of drawdown, and then I caught another move on Thursday. But I'm gonna hide this for right now because that plays into the next day. But here you are. So coming into Thursday, this is on the 1 hour chart, and on Wednesday I was looking at the charts late at night, and I saw that we were already coming down. So I honestly anticipated us on Thursday already taking this range low by the time we get into New York morning session. But when I got into the market, we were actually rallying, which was opposite to what I was expecting, because like I said, I was already expecting us to take out that range low. I honestly believe that we were building buy side liquidity to then take out the low and then reverse, especially on a Thursday, which is reversal day, typically reversal day. Another reason why I thought we were gonna go higher was if you look at the weekly, we had sell side liquidity that I was anticipating us to purge and revert, as well with filling in this fair value gap, like I said earlier in the video, which is killing 2 birds with 1 stone. And then we also had the breaker over here on the weekly. So I was expecting us already on Thursday coming into the market for us to already be below the sell side liquidity, filling in that range, and then on our way up, so that by 9:30 we will be back inside the range, ready for news to send us higher. But like I said, it did not play out that way. We came into the market and already rallying. So if I go back to Thursday, this is what I ended up seeing, which was basically consolidation, manipulation, distribution. That is exactly what I played off of. Coming into 9:30, the best entry honestly was up here, and I didn't take it. I guess I had entered too early, and I remember exactly because it was just consolidating or chopping, at least for the most part of my trade, because I took this entry on the 1 minute. If I would have been a bit more patient, I could have had a way better entry with a better RR, with taking my position in this fair value gap and having my stop above this. I took this on the 1 minute, and I believe there was a SMT with NQ and ES, with ES taking this high and NQ not taking it. So we ended up breaking down. I seen that as a break of structure. We had taken buy side liquidity from these 2 highs right here, and then ended up folding, creating a fair value gap. So I entered at that fair value gap, but as you can see, ended up chopping a bit, and then broke down, came back up to my break even, and then that's when it started to break down. I didn't have my full position on this day because I already had come into this day expecting us to be below the sell side liquidity and then moving higher, because I was looking for longs initially, but I decided to adapt to the market since we weren't anywhere near the sell side liquidity of these lows at 9:30. So I flipped my buys with that being my draw on liquidity, and it was correct. I believe it was a 2 contract or a 3 contract day, if I'm not mistaken. It might have been 2 contracts, and then I just rode it out and got out around here. If I'm not mistaken, I didn't get out fully because, as you can see, it never came back down, and that was because they were generating sell side liquidity for them to take out in the afternoon session. So this is the trade from the afternoon session. I had noticed that we had came back up into optimal trade entry, and that's why I had this up here. We had created equal lows, and I knew the higher time frame was drawing lower because of the weekly range. I was already expecting it to get down there, so this was the trade that I ended up setting up. And I didn't take this trade because I hesitated on the 1 minute, and it never came came back up to give me the entry that I actually wanted, which was at this breaker. But actually, I think it was on the 3-minute fair value gap. Yeah, as you can see, I was expecting it to at least come up into this area, trip me in, and then keep going lower, but it never did. But on the 1 minute, as you can see, there is a breaker on the 1 minute as well that I did not enter on. We had equal highs, which is buy side liquidity. We had high, low, higher high, lower low, and I believe there was an SMT with ES. So that was all the confirmation I needed to enter right here on this breaker. Once we already had came down with this candle, next candle open, went up into the breaker, and then left. I hesitated since I already made money, and honestly, I follow my rules, which is if I make money on my first trade, why even enter the market and put even more money at risk? You're just gonna have to live with that, because as you can see, we smashed through that target absolutely, and it would have been a 1 to 4 RR, which I was risking like on that account like $60. Like, bro, you should have took this trade to make like 400. So I don't know why I didn't take this trade or why I hesitated, but I did. It's okay, it ends up happening. That's just the price that you have to live with. I had a very good week after realizing what I realized, and hopefully you've been picking up on it. This is what ended up happening today on Friday. So like I said, coming into Friday, I was expecting us to come back up into the range and just demolish these highs, since we had created quite of a range from this week. As you can see, the weekly high being formed on Tuesday with the low on Friday. I was expecting a TGI Friday setup, and especially mentioning what I saw on the weekly time frame, which was us already inside the fair value gap, hitting the breaker. I was like, we're definitely mooning tomorrow, we're going up. I'm going to take a trade, which I shouldn't have, because I got out of drawdown and then some, and then gave away that money today on Friday, which is a mistake in itself, but it's okay. I stopped after 2 trades. I lost enough. It was a lot more than I should have, which I'll talk about more once I get into the positions, but I was expecting us to go up today. I woke up around 9 if I'm not mistaken, and I missed this move, which was the 8:30 news. If you were up in the market, pre-market trading, you could have had a consolidation, manipulation, distribution move. I don't know what you would have been targeting. Maybe you would have been targeting in here or something within this range, right? I know I wouldn't. I knew that if I was in this, I would have been targeting all the buy side liquidity from this range. But what it was actually was the manipulation. So consolidation, manipulation, distribution, distributed down, came all the way down to refill this whole imbalance up higher from the previous week, and delivered a TGIF setup later on in the PM session. So since it created this big range and it fell so fast, and this was fast, how fast this fell, it was only right that they came back up into the range. And I know people that caught this move, and that was a crazy move, honestly. But if you could see here, even on the 15-minute, like, I know there was probably some better entries. You could have this entry right here, even targeting this low, and then maybe targeting this high and taking partials along the way through here would have been perfect. I know some people in the group chat that caught this move, and their RR was crazy, but you could have had this as well and targeted the -4 on the fib with the bodies of the manipulation leg down before it headed straight up. That's not what I was expecting today. I wasn't expecting that drop or that move up, and honestly, I didn't see the move up, because after I took my losses this morning, I was like, I'm off of this. I'm just gonna go on with the rest of my day. I shouldn't have even traded today. I had a good week this week. I should have just took that W into the weekend and then came ready and prepared for the next week. But this is what ended up actually setting up. If you pay attention here, we were in a sell model. We came down, closed below these lows, and then started to move up towards the high, which is, this is buy side liquidity. So that's why I'm still so bullish, but at the same time a bit bearish, because we closed below the range, but we're still respecting the higher time frame fair value gap. As you can see in breaker, the unicorn model, we're respecting that very well. So next week will be very telling on what is going to happen, and if we're going to take out that high or if we're expecting lower prices. If you pay attention, we also had formed a bearish breaker, which was what the manipulation move was aiming for, which was this down close candle. So as you can see, the manipulation move at 8:30 was just to come up into this breaker. So if you were trading on the higher time frames, you could have easily got in at the breaker, had your stop right above the breaker, and then I don't know what you would have been targeting. Maybe these equal lows down here, which would have been an awesome trade. Maybe this imbalance fill in. I don't know what you could have been targeting, but there was a big range that was created there either way. But as you can see here, would have been a 3 to almost a 4 RR. Could have been even made smaller at the consequent encroachment of the breaker, but that's if you were trading on the higher time frames. But that's what confirmed to me that we were going to move lower. I was also paying attention to here on the 5 minute on the move down. There was an SMT with ES taking this high and NQ not taking that high. So this was actually the perfect entry at 940 with these two highs right here, and this is on the 1 minute. But if you can see, this is the entry that should have been taken with a high, low, higher high, lower low, and then it barely came back and touched this. But if you were aggressive, you could have just sold right there and then targeted these lows down here, and like I said, those other lows. But that is basically what happened today, and I got burned on both. I actually was in a bit of profit, and I got caught on that actual manipulation move because I had entered around here. It went up, and then I added to my position while I was in profit and didn't move my stop loss or anything, and then ended up coming back down, and I ended up losing more than I was actually trying to lose. But it doesn't matter. I am very confident in what's gonna happen next week in terms of me just having a way better week than I had this week, and I had a very good week. But yeah, that's what happened on the charts this week. In terms of what's gonna happen next week, we'll just have to see. But you don't want to make any moves without demanding more information or more data from the charts. But let's go into my Top Step account. All right, so this is the account. My best day is $720, which was that day on Wednesday, which I closed on at the halfway point of the fib. That trade itself got me back out of drawdown because I was in drawdown from last week, if you remember watching the last week. And then I went up a bit more after that on the 12th, which was basically $325 above with a $270 trade, and then missing that second trade in the afternoon, which probably would have made me around $200, even probably more. So I probably would have been up 1% on the account once again. This is what I lost today, but it's okay. I believe that this is gonna end up going like this and then move higher. This is the winning trade percentage. It's going up. The average trade win is 302. I don't remember if it's starting to go up, if it's going up or not, but as you can see here, I was respecting a lot of my rules this week. I was a lot more disciplined with only 2 positions on Tuesday, which ended up being a small loss, and then that other position where I only took 1 contract off, and then it ended up going down and hitting my break even, which was a mistake. I should have just closed up there. I would have been fine with that. And then we had that 1 trade on Wednesday, which was the big trade of the week. 1 trade on Thursday, which I ended up missing that second trade, so I should have had 2 trades on Wednesday, and this was 2 trades today, but I added another position on top of my second trade. I took 1 trade in the morning. I believe I was too early. I was like, I shouldn't even taken this, so I closed it out, and then I entered another position. I was in the green. I added another contract. The news ended up just taking me out because I had the direction completely incorrect. But I enter these positions at market. I usually try to enter with a limit order. What has been happening to me is when I enter with a limit order, it's perfect, but when I enter with a market order, I either mess up and close my position by accident, or I'm not fast enough to close my position manually. So I try to stay away from market entries as much as I can, but that shouldn't matter. If it's a market entry and I'm right, this wouldn't even be a topic of conversation. But yeah, so yeah, I got back into profit, and then the trades today ended up breaking me down again into drawdown, but it's only $100, not even $100, $25 in drawdown, which I know for a fact I'll get back next week. I'm not even upset, nothing like that. It's gonna get to the point where I'll pass this challenge in no time, just because of the information that I am taking in now, and still gonna be studying, still gonna be getting better as a trader. That's basically all I had to say. This is what I saw this week. It was a very good week. Could have been even better if I had just quit after Thursday, because I won Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. There's no point of me even trading on Friday, especially when I got out of drawdown and I was in profit. Would have been perfect to just carry that into the new week, but I just broke my rules, I guess. But you already know I did journal it. You already know that all the mistakes and even all the good stuff that I did this week was journaled. So as you can see here, I've been journaling, and even on days where I did good, I still journaled what I saw, why I entered the market, what I was feeling, what I did wrong. It's getting better. I'm improving, and that's all I need to see. I don't really care about anything else. As long as I'm improving and following my rules, I'll be straight. But if I keep on not following my rules, that's really gonna be the downfall. But I'm living to trade another day, and that's basically it. I thank you so much for watching this video. Once again, thank you to Techtronix.com for sponsoring this series. Use my discount code RTFLV for 10% off at checkout. Apart from that, tune in the next video, and thank you so much for the support. Honestly, we're going like crazy. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.